What up, guys? Today, we are jumping into Absolute with the heavy bolt pistol and the chainsword on a Bulwark that does not have any perks. I recently jumped into Prestige 4 with Bulwark, and I'm very satisfied with the Prestige perks for this class. And as you can see, no other perks were used. I did not use any perks for this operation. Standard bear, though, you get basically 2 seconds of iframes when you drop the banner. And obviously the other perks that I have for Bulwark are very powerful. Overall, the prestige perks for Bulwark feel really good. But as you saw with the icons when I dropped my banner, that was a very fast invincibility. And ultimately, my idea was to drop the banner and start swinging. So that's why you can see me just start swinging right here. I know it's just 2 seconds, but I honestly think the chainsword leaves that a little bit of opportunity open when you go for the stuns on the majors. As long as you're invincible, there's really no reason to, not play aggressive. So ultimately, standard bear I was very interested in. And yes, this is a zone thrope. And I have to point something out, which I'm not too sure if you hear or not, because this is on PS5. What happened was I got hit by a death beam, and it bugged my audio for the operation, which is insane. So hopefully they can fix that. That is not something that happens to me often. I will say this is the first time that happened to me. But yes, let me know in the comments if you had bugged audio from zoanthropes. That is another thing that could just be possibly annoying with zoanthropes, huh? But yes, with the heavy bolt pistol here, I wasn't too worried about this encounter. At first, it started pretty terrible. But don't worry, this is Absolute. We have a handful of terrible encounters in this operation, and all of them you have to consider the fact that I don't have any perks besides my prestige perks. So Prestige 4 Bulwark without any other perks I think is still pretty interesting. I get increased damage with my heavy bolt pistol. I get increased damage with my charge attacks, my melee charge attacks, and my melee damage is better. And then, not to mention, overall, I can increase my cooldown just by blocking attacks, which is really good. Getting the headshots right there with the heavy bolt pistol and finishing off that enraged major without much issue. And as you saw right there was melee champion. Boom, drop the banner. I am invincible here. I can swing off. I do, again, melee champion. Very nice opportunity for the chainsword here to get a lot of damage on these majors. And yeah, this is Absolute. This is Absolute, and the heavy bolt pistol is pulling a lot. It is honestly pulling its weight quite a bit here. It is the only ranged weapon I had, and honestly, that extra 20% damage boost from the Prestige perk definitely really helps out. Now, when it comes to Prestige 4 classes, I now have Prestige 4 Heavy and Prestige 4 Bulwark. So my next one to really, commit to the Prestige 4, I think will be Tactical. However, I also am enjoying, playing Assault right now as well. The Assault class is very good. It's very fun. And yeah, it's going to be one of those classes I start to commit to, but I will admit, depending on what platform I play the Assault on, it could take a little bit. So we still have quite a bit of grinding, to be completely honest, with this game, and I'm definitely fine for it. We're not too sure when Horde is going to come out, but regardless, I'm in a pretty good spot for it. I do have a heavy that's ready to go. I have a Bulwark that is ready to go, and honestly, we're probably going to gain some experience from that. Oh, right there was a huge hit. The Carnifex definitely just took me out a little bit there. And I have a teammate who is down, unfortunately. I will admit this was a pretty tough operation for, lower level characters to jump into. The Tactical who's with me, I believe it's in the 20s, and the Vanguard ends up leaving. I think they went down twice or 3 times, something like that, and I think it just wasn't worth it for them. But for me, it was definitely worth it because I'm technically level 0 here, I guess, Prestige 4. And I am very greedy when it comes to experience when I have 4 prestige perks. I really want to see that huge level jump. I believe if you get the Gene Seed with Absolute, if you're level 0, you should go to level 11, or level 1, I guess, whatever it is. Ultimately, it really doesn't matter because as long as you have 4 prestige perks, I think you're in a good position, as long as you know your class as well, and you picked your prestige perks correctly, I think you're in a position to get greedy with experience in a sense. But now, allow moments like this to, seep into your mind a bit. I have no ammo. I have no ammo in this Carnifex fight. We have a Vanguard bot, And now I have two bullets to get contested health back there, which actually probably would have got more health than that if I reacted quicker. But I had to reload, and hey, ordeal complete. Boom. That's good at least. But yeah, now it's me in the tactical against a Carnifex who is almost at half health. This was definitely a pretty hard fight to get some melee swings in, because the Carnifex honestly was just jumping all over the place. I have no armor here, so I was, looking to regenerate some armor, and I dropped the banner there to hopefully help out my teammate. Maybe they needed some armor, who knows. In absolute, armor regenerates slowly, so just dropping the banner to get some armor back isn't really a bad play, to be completely honest. But yeah, as you saw right there, that one chainsword swing was actually pretty good. So this is why I went, oh, you know what? I need to get some melee damage in here. As soon as I had my armor back, I was ready to, get within melee range. Trying to get parries there. Boom, big gun strike, and we have somebody to replace the bot here, which is nice. I'm getting some dodges right there, making sure to avoid death, because I believe if I get hit there, I die. And honestly, yeah, overall, this was a pretty rough fight to be in when you don't have any ammo. I will say also, this tactical I was playing with, they definitely knew what they were doing. They were getting into the middle of any fight I was in, they were also in the middle of. And we are trying our best to just try to, dwindle down some of these mobs. The bot does go away, and the tactical pointed out some ammo. There was a point in this operation where I was just pulling the trigger just to show that I had no ammo. Luckily, I get the ammo back right when I get the contested health. That was very, very clutch. And at this point, I knew I had enough ammo for this. They're scanned as well, and I knew this Carnifex was going down, and I was going to bring the execution to the Carnifex. I was going to be the one to bring down the Carnifex. But yeah, I just want to pinpoint when's a good time to drop banner. Right there, right when you pull off the claw, or no, maybe it's the shell right there. Yeah, I guess you gotta wait for that second limb detach to drop the banner to heal your teammates. Oh yeah, and we also had a sniper join us, which was nice. That was kind of a pretty cool, convenient class to join in with a Bulwark and a tactical. So ultimately, I am going to be in the front and, taking a lot of melee aggro, trying my best to tank through some mobs, and then I will have a tactical watching my back and a sniper dealing with things that I can't deal with. So we actually had a pretty good team here for Absolute, to be completely honest. But unfortunately, I am still pretty low. Now, I do have a Guardian Relic. I've had a Guardian Relic for this entire operation, which is nice. The tactical let me get it before they had, or actually as they had the Mortal Wound. I kind of forget how that worked out, but I'll tell you what, this tactical was definitely letting me get a lot of stuff. So they probably saw that I was low level, but I didn't die immediately, so they were kind of like, hey, you know what, you might need some of this. Either way, shout out to this tactical, because right here, as soon as my armor goes down and I get hit by those attacks, I figured to myself, it might be better if I just go down and use the Guardian Relic. However, luckily, the tactical was near me because, yeah, they're playing the objective, and they immediately picked me up. So now I have a Mortal Wound, but I have a Guardian Relic. So the tactical right there, because of that swift revive, they were able to buy me another, down, essentially. And not to mention, since it's a Guardian Relic, I do get contested health back. Now, I wasn't too sure where these Spore Mines were coming from, because they're Spore Mines, and yeah, they can be annoying. And look at that one! That one came out of nowhere, no idea where that Spore Mine came from. And then once I got dropped on by this Extremist, I figured, hey, I have to do my best to, get my contested health back, first of all. If I go down because of the Spore Mines, I at least have the Guardian Relic, so I knew a Gun Strike would at least put some damage on the board, so I'd be able to take out this Extremist a little faster. I have no idea where the Spore Mines came from. I was really hoping to understand what happened with those Spore Mines, but there wasn't even a Biovore. There wasn't a Biovore, and then I had a Spore Mine spawn in directly behind me and in front of me. I am getting so sick of Spore Mines. I swear, I hope when patch 8 drops, we get a real nice, update for Spore Mines, unless they just wanted them to kind of be a, I think, honestly, before the Absolute buff, they kind of just wanted Spore Mines to be a little bit of a nuisance. And then once they go into, buff or tweak Absolute, maybe we will see an adjustment to Spore Mine spawns, but those last two specifically felt like they came out of nowhere. And I will say, if we see a lot of Spore Mines in Horde, that is going to be another terrible way to drain people's fun from that mode. I have to be honest. Like, Spore Mines are just, yeah, they are so annoying. They are the one persistent annoyance in this game. Like, even the Zoanthropes before, even the Zoanthropes that bugged my audio aren't as annoying as Spore Mines that just spawn out of nowhere and just, you know, they'll just zero in on you and go in for the explosion, essentially, and it doesn't matter where you really dodge, to be completely honest, because of the heightened dodge windows in Absolute. They're a little bit, you know, they're tweaked, but for enemies AoE, for enemy AoE attacks in higher difficulties, I feel like they actually have a wider hitbox, and if we have a smaller hitbox for dodges, yeah, I feel like that's why Spore Mines are a huge issue. I seriously cannot get enough of ranting about those things. I can't believe even after watching that footage, I am tilted about it. But regardless, let's keep our mind on this fight, because I do not have the privilege to complain about Spore Mines when I am surrounded by Bone Swords and other majors. And luckily we do have two nice ranged classes here. So I wasn't too worried about getting into this fight too deep. As long as I was able to get some parries and some gun strikes, I had Banner. And as soon as I drop Banner, I'm invincible for 2 seconds because of the Prestige perk. And I didn't use it on that Prestige perk specifically. I didn't use on PTS. I did obviously bring it out for this. And I still have a weird time gauging its usefulness. I do think there's always a use for 2 seconds of iframes, you know what I mean? I think there's always going to be a way to apply it. Like, right here is a pretty tough situation, but as soon as I go for that parry, then my iframes are gone because I caught the gaunt and did the animation. So it's kind of interesting. I would say drop the Banner when you're looking to get really aggressive with some melee attacks, and it's ultimately just going to give you 2 seconds of some mistake clearing, in a sense. Where if you get 2 seconds of iframes, it really doesn't matter how bad your position is, because you can just roll out of that position and reposition. So maybe 2 seconds of iframes is kind of more of like a strategic thing if you kind of want to approach a fight in a different way. I tried my best to drop the Banner and start swinging off. That's really what I wanted to do, but 2 seconds just really isn't that much time to take that much advantage of it. I will say it does give you a good opening, so essentially that could be all you need for a good melee engagement. Big Stomp right there, also being buffed by Overcharge, you know, the charge attack prestige perk for Bulwark. Want to make sure that I get that parry, but for whatever reason, that just did not register. That was very ugly looking. No idea why that happened. Big Banner drop, going for some swings, going for some stomps. The stomps are super good. The chainsword is super good on the Bulwark. I am super happy, honestly, with how Prestige 4 Bulwark ended up. It is just a very good class, and I'm definitely enjoying playing Bulwark quite a bit here. This, honestly, as far as runs go, this run started pretty sloppy, but you know, when we had the sniper teammate join in, I think it kind of helped us a little bit with our team synergy. And I would say this is definitely one of the hardest operations I've done recently. I mean, I did go down, so that's kind of already... normally, for Absolute, I don't go down on, like, successful operations or as far as, like, on a good team. But, yeah, here I went down, and I think it honestly is fine. I have no perks, and I got hit pretty hard by a major when I had low health. After a Carnifex fight that I had no ammo for, it just steamrolls, right? So ultimately, I'm very happy that I had some good teammates for this run. Yeah, here I'm just holding up my shield because I didn't want to get hit by Spore Mines. I wasn't actually too sure what was going on until I noticed that I saw the sniper was fighting a Biovore. I was kind of looking at them, but I was just like, I wasn't 100% sure what the situation was, but ultimately we had a good sniper. They were able to deal with it. The tactical played his position well because he's a ranged class, and yeah, we were able to take down Inferno on Absolute without any perks. Prestige 4 Bulwark, and I get out meleeed by the tactical and then outranged by the sniper. So. No, actually, I got out-meleeed and outranged by the sniper. Holy cow. Oh, wait, no. Okay, that was backwards. I actually beat the tactical and range damage. That's wild. Prestige 4 Bulwark is still very, very good.